I had 3 combat patrols that I was considering talking about today, and I really wasn't sure which one I was actually going to do first. So I asked you guys which you thought was the worst in terms of value, but also in terms of starting a new army. And I didn't think for a second it was going to be this clear cut. So it seems that currently no one likes the Dark Angels combat patrol. So yeah, let's get into this. At the moment, the current 10th edition Dark Angels combat patrol will net you 445 points for £100 or 168 US dollars, 130 euros or 268 Australian dollars. And in terms of what you're saving compared to buying each of these kits individually, it's £43, $57.75, €52.38 or 101.5 Australian dollars. So for that amount of points and at that price point, what is it that makes this box undesirable? What is it that actually makes it bad? Well, first of all, there's a pretty good variety of models that would actually be a nice start to an army, but you get 10 intercessors, which is only really good for a new player who doesn't have any intercessors already, and this massively discourages players from buying a second box to fill out their army. Secondly, there are no actual unique Dark Angels models. All of this is available for the Space Marine range, and so if you're specifically looking to collect Dark Angels, there's nothing really other than the upgrade sprue to incentivize you to get this one compared to any other Space Marine Combat Patrol box that's available. And we'll come back to the upgrade sprues in a sec. Something that's baffled everyone since the box first came out is that they decided to make the character the Gravis Captain, which means that you can't attach him to any of the units, you can't lead them or provide buffs on the table, and therefore just lacks any synergy with him and the other units. Now, in terms of value, for 10th edition, it's okay. It's an okay amount of savings. But if you compare it to the last combat patrol that Dark Angels had, it really does drop the ball a bit. You got more points out of the old combat patrol, and it cost you less money. So that's a no-brainer that the other one on paper is just better value. Now, I said that the saving on this box is okay, and it kind of is, but you do feel absolutely cheated by the Dark Angels upgrade sprues that are included. You get 2 of the old Primaris upgrade sprue. The reason that 2 copies of the old one isn't good enough is because you don't get enough shoulders to actually put one on every Intercessor and every Hellblaster. And you get some shoulders for Gravis, which might fit on the Blade Guard, but aren't designed to go on the Blade Guard. Whereas the new upgrade sprue specifically has Blade Guard shoulder pads and Gravis shoulder pads. They are different. And you can't help but think that maybe they just had an excess of the old upgrade sprue that they needed to get rid of, because Black Templars in 9th edition got a combat patrol with their brand new upgrade sprue in it, and Blood Angels are about to get a combat patrol with their brand new upgrade sprue in it, not the old one. I also got a couple of comments from you guys. I'm paraphrasing these, but the points you also made were, the box is okay, but as an army, it has no real cohesion. The box is geared more towards General Marines than Dark Angels, and there should have been definitely Terminators in it. So what is my criteria exactly for making a better combat patrol box? The obvious thing is that it needs to appeal to players like you and me, but we have to be a little bit realistic about what we're actually putting in it. We can't put £300 worth of models in there and sell it for £100, because obviously that is not a good business strategy for Games Workshop. So I'm aiming for there to be somewhere around £40 to £50 worth of savings in there. Since I'm kind of keeping Games Workshop's interests involved in this process, it kind of has to have the new Dark Angels upgrade sprue and transfer sheet. It's just what they do at this point. From my perspective, I think that this box should be made up of Dark Angels specific units, or at the very least units that are heavily associated with Dark Angels. And finally, when we were talking about the Space Marine Combat Patrol, last time we did this, one of the things I really wanted was for the units to synergize well with the Ultramarines rules. But because we've already kind of said that we're going to have a bunch of Dark Angel specific units in this box, the units kind of naturally synergize with Dark Angels rules anyway, or they're at least supposed to. So I'm not actually going to be considering the Dark Angels detachments, stratagems, etc. Just before we reveal what I actually put in this hypothetical box, I wanted to say thank you as always for the recent support across the channel. It means a great deal. If you want to support me some more, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and watch another one of my videos right after this one. That will really, really help me out. And if you really want to support me, you can become a channel member today. Members can get access to videos early, emotes, and loyalty badges to use across the channel, shoutouts at the end of videos, and access to the channel Discord server that is coming very, very soon. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this segment. Let's get back to me. Okay, so what is in this box set? We have Captain Lazarus as our HQ. We've got 3 Inner Circle companions. We've got 5 Terminators, 5 Hellblasters, and the brand new Dark Angels upgrade sprue. Now, it doesn't sound like an awful lot, and if I show you the comparison of the numbers, it's not really a huge difference in terms of points or financial savings. So my suggested box is 465 points if you build Lazarus as a generic Dark Angels captain, and will get you a saving of £49, 68.25 US dollars, 61.12 euros, or 128.5 Australian dollars. So you can see that the numbers aren't massively different. And obviously the model count of my box is quite a bit smaller than the existing one. So let's get into why my box is actually better. So you're saving £49 on this box, which is only £6 more than the current one. However, it's got the new upgrade sprue. And this allows you to upgrade the Hellblasters a whole bunch and upgrade the Terminators with all the Deathwing bits. You also have a whole bunch of bits left over, as well as transfers to use on the rest of your army, which you are not getting out of 2 of the old Primaris upgrade sprue. You really don't get many bits left over having 2 of those compared to having 1 of these. The box is really fluffy. We've got Dark Angels specific units, Hellblasters, which have always been heavily associated with Dark Angels, and the box by nature is made up of very elite and points expensive models, which is definitely in keeping with how Dark Angels players often build their armies. Unfortunately, as much as I tried, getting some Ravenwing in there just wasn't feasible. The cheapest Ravenwing units to buy are still quite expensive, and they don't actually get you very many points to put on the table. So I sacrificed them and brought the Deathwing. The new Terminators are still quite recent, and the Dark Angels upgrades for them are even more recent, so those models are still fresh and won't be updated for a long, long time. And also, I don't know if you collect Dark Angels or have a friend who collects Dark Angels. Dark Angels players love Deathwing Terminators. Have you ever seen someone with a Deathwing army? They'll have 4,000 points of Terminators and they will still buy this because they want to get 5 more. If you've not got Lazarus, this box gets you Lazarus, but if you do already have him, then he does actually have enough bits to build him as a generic Dark Angels captain, and you've got some loadout options for him as well, which is really nice. And it means that for once, by putting a named character in a box, it doesn't automatically devalue the box because there are multiple options for him. As well as having all the extra bits for your army out of the upgrade sprue, the Inner Circle Companions box comes with a lot of extra bits that are very, very tasty, very Dark Angels. Lots of hooded heads, lots of extra swords, and a few of the nice ornamental bits that you might want to use on other kits. It would also be the first time that Inner Circle Companions have been in a discount box, and seeing as they're still so new, and they're also the best Dark Angels models that have ever come out, and also quite expensive for just 3 models, I can see their inclusion being appealing to a lot of people, including me. So to summarize, this box is better because you get more models in it. But this box is better because it appeals to Dark Angels fans. It actually includes a bunch of their unique units. It doesn't fill you up with intercessors that you don't need. It's got the new upgrade sprue where the other one is stuck with the old upgrade sprue, and it actually includes things that people want. Your character can actually attach to some of the units that are in the box, and the box is ever so slightly a better deal than this one, and it actually contains units that I think on the most part, people want to own. So that's it really. You've heard my master plan for a replacement box, but I do want to know what you think. Is it good? Is it awful? And wherever you are in your painting journey, would it actually have value to you as a collector? Let me know in the comments what you think and what you would change. As usual, a massive thank you if you made it all the way to the end. And just a reminder to like, comment, subscribe, watch another video after this one. It genuinely really helps me out. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you next time.